There's something you must know about Casey Neistat and running. I started watching Casey Neistat in 2015. He helped me discover running from a completely different angle. In 2017, I wanted to run a marathon and run 1,000 miles in 1 year. In January, I ran 71 miles. In February, I ran 92 miles. In March, I ran 120 miles. In April, where I ran 87 miles, is where I kind of got burnt out. There are 3 mistakes that I made. The first mistake was I didn't learn from other people's experiences. There's a lot of books and a lot of resources of other people who ran a marathon and how they train, and I didn't read any resources. I was just going out and running. And after that, I kind of slowed down on my running for the rest of the year. In May, I ran 17 miles. In June, I ran 24 miles. July, 43 miles. August, 54 miles. The error number 2 was I wasn't drinking water during my long runs. September, 59 miles. October, 43 miles. November, 23 miles. December, 7 miles. The total for the year came down to roughly 640 miles. And at the time, I was quite upset about not being able to hit a 1,000-mile mark. But now looking back, what I'm happy is that the fact that I set that 1,000-mile goal helped me reach 640 miles. If I wouldn't have set that goal at all, I would probably have ran maybe 100 miles, maybe 200. And the error number 3 was every time when I was trying to increase my miles, I was still trying to run fast instead of trying to run slow. So that was a mistake. Try to run as slow as possible first when you're trying to increase your mileage. Fast forward to 2020 and I started running 3 miles a day just to lose some weight. May 20th of 2020 is when I officially set myself to run a marathon in under 3 hours. One thing I haven't told anybody is why I set the goal of running a marathon in under 3 hours. You see, I was looking up to Casey Neistat as my running motivation, and I looked up online. I saw that Casey ran the marathon in 3 hours and 1 minute, and I knew that if I'm able to run a sub-3 marathon, then I will be faster than Casey Neistat. But what it meant to me was that I could be proud of myself because now I'm able to run faster than somebody who actually inspired me to do that thing. And now you know why I set the goal of running a sub-3 marathon. Now let's go over some of the things that I've been up to the past year and a half. I'm going to make 3 columns. In the first column, we're going to put the date, and then the second one, we're going to put half marathon times, and then on the third one, we're going to put marathon times. In May of 2020 is when I set my goal to run a marathon at pace 6:52 per mile. In July of 2020 is actually when I completed my first marathon. It actually happened quite accidentally. My brother and I, we were trying to run 17 miles, and then we were like, why don't we just add 9 more miles and make it a marathon? So that's how it was my first marathon. We were running with backpacks and our goal was just to complete it. Friday, July 24th, finished my first marathon. Now I know that sub-3 marathon is definitely a big challenge. Definitely like afterwards you feel your legs. In October 2020 was the first time I ran a half marathon at pace 8. And it wasn't my max. I kind of wanted to just set some sort of benchmark to get going. In December 2020 was the first time I ran a marathon at 8:53 per mile. In February of 2021, I ran a half marathon at 7:06 per mile. Not gonna lie, I was quite impressed with me being able to run at 7:06 pace. So good job, self. In May of 2021 was my birthday, and on my birthday I decided to run as many years as I have lived on this earth, which is 27. I ran it at a pretty comfortable pace of 9:09 per mile. In July of 2021 is when I sprained my ankle playing volleyball, so I was out for roughly a month and a half, and I couldn't run at all. This is probably the biggest update to the challenge so far. I definitely messed up my ankle. I'm not sure what it is, but it's probably a fracture. In October of 2021, I ran my first official marathon.
Let's go, SHEKIB! Go! You got it, bro! Let's go! Got it!
And the time was 7:43 per mile, and it was here in San Diego called San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon. To be honest, it was a blast. It was probably like one of the best events in my life. In December of 2021, I was actually trying to run a 50 miler, and this marathon was supposed to be a workout for me in preparation for that marathon. But what ended up happening was I didn't really stretch as much, and so I ended up having a knee injury, which put me out for roughly a month and a half or so. So I didn't end up running that 50 miler, which I'm going to be doing later on. Now, for 2022, I have some exciting stuff coming up. In February of 2022, I'm going to be running a Las Vegas half marathon, and I'm trying to pace at 6:52 per mile for that half marathon. It's going to be quite challenging because I have been out for roughly a month and a half, and I lost quite a bit of fitness. But hopefully the workouts and the good diet will take care of me. And the reason I really like this chart because it kind of tells you the progression of my pace for a particular event. So here, if we look at the half marathon, you could see I started at 8 per mile pace, and then 7:06, and the next one I want to do is 6:52 per mile for the half marathon. And in May of 2022, my goal is to run the marathon at 6:52 per mile, or sub 3 hour marathon. You might be wondering, why am I even telling you this? There's a really good reason for it, and I might need your help. I want to ask Casey Neistat to pace me for the marathon in San Diego that's happening in June of 2020. I already bought the tickets for Casey, and also I will be booking a hotel and providing all the transportation for him for the event. To be honest, I don't have high expectations because I know he probably won't even see this video, but if you could help me, and I will be posting in the description a link of this video, Casey Neistat's Instagram, and the message sub3. If you could copy paste that and send it to his Instagram, that would mean a lot to me. At this moment, I think the only thing that I can rely on is the power of internet. Also, if you're watching this, Casey, send me a message on Instagram with just the message sub3. And if anybody else is also doing the marathon in San Diego in June, feel free to send me a message on Instagram as well. Also, the reason I'm making this video 6 months before the event is so that, Casey, you have a chance to prepare for the marathon yourself as well, because I know lately you have been doing a lot more surfing since you moved to LA. Alright, that is it. Hope everybody has fun, and I'll be updating you on the Vegas event.